Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Animaking 3, and today I'm going to be giving you part 18 of What If Naruto Had Cosmic Energy. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was put through hell and adopted by the Raikage over on Animaking 2, and enjoy that guys. And also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Failed is Genin Test and was given intense training over on Anime King. And if you're new, yes, I have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2 and Anime King 3, which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. And yeah, without further ado, would you to begin this new episode, start the intro. So, the last spot we left off, as Naruto was currently in his mindscape. He was surprised at the alteration though, as the place had changed. As he looked around, as he remembered what he felt, as he had saw the other 2 Bijous confined, and he hated their situation. He felt sorry for the fox. The fox snarled at that like he needed this human to feel sorry for him. But he told Naruto that he still had to keep good on his promise and free him from this place. As Naruto told him not to worry about that, of course he will free him soon enough. Once she was sure that he wasn't going to die as well. As with that he started to wake up. He woke up in the hospital as Rimuru was on top of his chest. Rimuru had changed, as he's now taking the form of a small fox. As he asked Naruto if he could take this form, as Karin and the others like it better. As Naruto had no problem with that. After all, he could do what he wanted as long as he liked it. As Rimuru told Naruto about the third guy's death. Naruto was shocked by that. Yes, as he never knew. He made his way. As the girls came to the hospital, he wasn't there. Suddenly, a thunderstorm settled right over on Konoha. The storm was wild, thick, and out of control. As it was Naruto's grief changed the entire atmosphere as he stood at the grave of Hiruzen. Jiraiya came there along with the 2 girls. Rimuru had his tail extended over Naruto's head, including the others when they came under it, so they weren't getting the soak. As he allowed his master time to grieve. Time passed after that as Jiraiya had a meeting with the council. They will discuss everything once. He bring back the new Hokage, that will be Tsunade, but he will need Naruto's help for that, so he made his way towards the compound. As he saw Hinata, Haku, and Karin there. As he told Naruto that they were going on a mission, he didn't tell Naruto what mission though. As he asked the girl how Naruto was doing. As the girls all shared a look, saying that he was holding up fine at the moment, but they could tell that he was holding back a lot, and he just didn't want to release his pain. Yes, but he was strong, and they were sure that he will get through it. Yes, this was Naruto they were talking about. He was strong, he was always a strong one, helping them. So they were sure that he could get through this. It would only take time. So with that, both Naruto and Jiraiya left. As Jiraiya saw how protective Naruto were over the girls, as he had left Rimuru behind to watch over them. As it was the feeling of losing Sarutobi was getting to him. They made their way. As Kakashi had blown off Sasuke for training, but Hinata came there. As the both of them chose to spar. So Sasuke did not find out that his brother attacked the village and went after Naruto. As Naruto was alone, he was attacked by the 2. As he started to fight them, until Jiraiya intervened and the fighting came to a stop as he had to flee. With that out of the way, Jiraiya told him as Naruto was once again pissed off. As now he had a group of S-rank Missanins coming after him. What else could be better? Not to mention Tsunade, who was going to become Hokage. Not to mention she probably wanted to kill him for what he did last time. Well, it was an accident. As they arrived at the bar, they found her. As Tsunade saw him, all the drunkenness seemed to just snap away from her. as her eyes turned murderous as she chased after him. So yeah guys, so basically that's where we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So what do you say begin this new episode? We begin this new episode in a memory. A 7-year-old Naruto had rushed into Jiraiya's room. Jiraiya was confused as he was just sitting on his bed writing something as Naruto slammed the door behind him. They were currently in a motel. The same one that Tsunade was currently in. They were staying here for the time being as he had met her on the road, and Jiraiya wanted to catch up, much to Tsunade's irony because she just wanted a drink and be alone. And Naruto first met her as well, something that didn't intrigue her one bit, as she seemed not to give a damn about the boy. She just wanted a drink, as Shizune kept on apologizing for the way her master was acting. But from what Naruto was told by Jiraiya, he could understand that the woman had been through a lot, so he wasn't going to falter over that. "What's wrong?" Jiraiya asked, as he saw Naruto panting. "Pack your things. Now." Jiraiya looked confused. We have to leave immediately," said Naruto. As Jiraiya could see that the boy was panicking. "What did you do?" Just pack your things. If you care about me at all, just pack your things and let's leave." Jiraiya narrowed his eyes as he saw the boy was panicking too much, as it couldn't be something life or death, because Naruto will tell him. So it must be something that he screwed up, something he did bad. So he just got his things. "I don't know what the hell is going on." "Naruto!" a voice screamed. The entire hallway shook as Naruto grabbed Jiraiya's arm and started to run. Jiraiya looked behind him as he saw a furious Tsunade run down the hall, as her eyes were also set on him. "I'm gonna get the both of you," she screamed. "Me? What did I do?" he said. He had no idea, but it was best to run away from her when she was in this state. As Naruto looked towards the open window and jumped right through it, Jiraiya diving out as well. Tsunade leaped through the window only to be stopped by a tree. She was surprised because there wasn't a tree there a moment ago. As she broke out of it as she looked around, she saw them nowhere in sight. "I'll find you," she said, "and you'll pay, you little brat. And you too, Jiraiya." A distance away, Naruto was panting as he looked over at Jiraiya, who was confused, angry, and scared. They waited there for a while. What the hell is going on? As Naruto gulped. Well, you see, flashback to earlier. Despite Tsunade not giving a damn about him, Shizune had took it upon her time to show Naruto medical ninjutsu. Not anything too advanced, but to help him mend his wounds just in case, or his comrades if they need the help. It was rather easy because, unlike other Jinchurikis, giving Naruto cosmic energy, it separates his normal chakra from the fox, so he could use medical ninjutsu and the chakra won't be so corrosive. So Naruto barged in the hotel. As he paused, sometime he just forgot to knock, as he turned his head towards the bedroom door. As the bedroom, there was a door in there that led off to the shower. He could hear the water on, as he heard the water turn off. As he could sense that it was not Shizune in there, it was Tsunade. A part of his mind told him to just get out of here and leave. That was the right thing to do. But after years of being with Jiraiya, adapting to his perverted status, yes, it was a must if you raised someone from so long. He didn't know what the hell took over him, as his body made his way. He knew that he was doing something stupid, but his small 7-year-old mind just did not comprehend the backlash that this will have on him, or anyone else. So he slowly cracked open the door. As he peeped in, instantly blood gushed from his nose. The sight in front of him, throwing him completely off guard. There was Tsunade as she just placed on her bra. Tsunade heard something hit the ground that thud, as Naruto had fall. She quickly opened the door. As she looked down, her eyes turned murderous. In the flashback, as Naruto scratched the back of his head, "I messed up, big time," he said. "It seems like you've been spending too much time with me, because that is the exact thing I would do," said Jiraiya. "But she's gonna kill you, and she's gonna kill me for raising you because I'm the one that..." Jiraiya sighed. "Let's get the hell out of here," he said. "Let's hope that we don't see her for a long time. And let's hope that she calms down after that long time." "She has to," said Naruto. "If we skip a couple of years, right?" "Well, you've never been on a team with Tsunade. The same thing that you're talking about, I did it once. And I got caught. And let's just say I tried to run. I tried to hide, but she found me. And yeah, I was in the hospital for a week straight. So, this is on you. Think of it as a punishment for peeping. Don't pick up my ways, said Jiraiya. Because you can't handle them. I am a super pervert that never gets caught. Are you kidding? Said Naruto. You get caught all the time. Yeah, you're right, said Jiraiya. Now let's get the hell out of here. As the both of them made their way off. Back to the present time, Naruto ducked as a fist passed over his head. Was she really trying to kill him? As he leaped back as her fist slammed into the ground. I'm sorry. How many times do I have to apologize? I have squashed people for seeing less. So if you think you're gonna get away, you are sadly mistaken. As Naruto placed his hand together, before an army of clones poof into existence, they all scatter. Snatty slammed their heel in the ground, creating a massive earthquake as rocks jetted out, skewering the clones as they poofed away. The original jumped back. Snatty leaped forward. Night, brat, she said as her fist slammed right into his face. After all, she was going to kill him. Just hurt him. A lot. But Naruto poofed away, showing that it was just a clone, as her eyes looked around dangerously. Jiraiya and Shizune then came up. Haim, said Jiraiya. He's long gone. At the beginning, it was just a distraction to throw you off. Look, that was a... Snap the eye snapped towards him. Hey, I'm just trying to keep you calm. You're the one that turned him like this, didn't you? Turning him into a pervert like you. She cracked her knuckles. Look, we can sort this out, Jiraiya-sama. I would advise that you run, said Shizune. Jiraiya took that as he ran off, scared for his life. Tsunade-sama. As Shizune looked around, she didn't even get to say hi to Naruto, as it's been so long since she saw him. Tsunade has been planning how to get the boy back for a very, very long time now. If she had saw him first, she would have warned him, but he came in the bar. And Tsunade wasn't going to leave him pretty when she was done. She cracked her knuckles. This time, they won't get away, she said. She then sighed. Well, they have to come back to me. They want something. So I'll just wait. Come on, Shizune. You're going back to the bar. Shizune sighed. Yes, Tsunade-sama, she said, as they made their way back inside the bar. Later that night, the door opened, as Tsunade was waiting for them to come back, so she did not drink herself into a stupor. But no one was at the door. Suddenly, someone was pushed inside. Tsunade's eyes turned murderous as Naruto was the one that was pushed inside. He had something in his hand though, a crate, as there was something covering the top. He walked towards her as he took several deep breaths. Okay, I know you want to hurt me for a mistake that I did a long time ago. How exactly is it a mistake, she asked. I was 7 years old. I wasn't thinking. Come on, can you give me a break? A break? Wrong way to phrase the words, he said. At least let me make it worth your while, he said. So you won't hurt me. Okay, there's nothing you can do so I won't hurt you, she said. How about as Naruto pulled off the cloth that was on? Tsunade blinked. Wait, are those? Yes. Mount Miyaboku's sake. Original sake from Mount Miyaboku. The best in the world. Tsunade couldn't believe it. She only had this about 2 times before when Jiraiya had got it from Mount Miyaboku. And she had to say it was the best sake in the world. And this brat got so much of it. Peace offering, said Naruto. Tsunade's eyes narrowed as she let her fondness of drinking sway her decision. As she took the crate from him and placed it on the table, she eyed him up and down. You're still not forgiven, she said. This is not enough to make me forgive you. From this day on, you'll have to give me a bottle of sake every week. Really? Said Naruto. Yes. And by the time some time has passed, I will think about forgiving you, she said. Okay, doable, said Naruto. Wait, really? She said. She was surprised. Weren't these hard to get? As Naruto simply eyes smiled. What game are you playing here, she said. Oh, no game. Just don't want you to hurt me, said Naruto. Alright, fine. He couldn't exactly fight her if she was going to become the Hokage. Having a Hokage that really hates you, that can give you nothing but D-rank missions, was really, really bad. Is the ghost clear? A voice said. Yeah, we came to our agreement. Oh, that's good, said Jiraiya as he came in the bar. as the both of them sit down in the boot. And what did you bring me, she said. Um, um, it's from the both of us, said Naruto. As Jiraiya took a deep breath. Thank you, kid, he said. As Naruto nodded, don't mention it. So, why are the both of you here, she said. I assume this is not a social call. Have you heard about what happened, said Jiraiya. His tone becoming a bit serious, as Naruto also got serious as well. Yeah, the old man died, she said. I always told him that that position was a foolish job. People who are Hokage always end up dead, risking their life for a village. What a waste. Hokage is nothing but a foolish job. Well, I guess he realized that on his deathbed, or probably not. To stay in that position was nothing but a fool hope. The moment she said that, the table cracked. As Naruto's hand had been applying so much pressure, it finally broke. A long split runs straight towards Tsunade's end. Don't talk about him that way, said Naruto. What? Look, I know that you're all not caring about certain things. After all, you left the village for so long, and the old man decided to leave you be, to have your time to reflect on your life, and not send hunter ninjas after you. If it was anyone else, they would have been brought back by force, but you, he leave you be. So don't talk about him like that. Ever, said Naruto. Tsunade scoffed, as Naruto's hand tightened on the table even more. Jiraiya quickly raised his hand, cutting the tension between them rather quickly, as he couldn't have Naruto loosen it right here, getting too angry. Look, as much as you try to deny it, we need you right now. I know you're gonna say you don't want to come back, but the village, everyone, we need you. Me? What could I... She paused. You must be joking, right? Don't tell me you're here for that reason. Yeah. You have the background. You have the lineage. The village needs you. And why would I ever consider coming back to become Hokage? I would never, she said. That village has taken too much from me. To give it my life as well? No. But you have to, said Naruto. I don't have to do anything, she said. And neither of you can tell me what to do. So I suggest you get packing and go home right now, because I won't be coming back. The job of Hokage is for a fool. All that took that job always end up dying, risking their life for that village, and as I said before, I won't become one of those fools. Bam! Naruto threw the crate off the table, breaking all the glass liquid inside. I said, do not talk about the old man like that, he says, he clenched his fist. My dad was also a Hokage. So people like you who hasn't become Hokage, you don't have the right to say that unless you are truly ascended to the seat, said Naruto. Look, I know you can be frail and talk as you want most time, but watch your words. And what exactly you're gonna do to make me watch my words, she said, as she got right up in his face. I'm gonna shut that trap of yours, Naruto said. Oh really? Do you really think that you can make me stop saying what I'm saying? Saying that the job of Hokage is for a fool? Well then, brat. You were first hiding from my hits. How about we take this outside, and this time you don't run? Gladly, said Naruto. Jiraiya sighed. He knew the both of their attitudes would conflict with each other when Naruto was serious. This wasn't going exactly as he planned. Aren't you gonna stop them? Shizune asked. I couldn't even if I wanted to right now. Until Naruto cools down, until Tsunade cools down as well, things are gonna be rather difficult. Let's just make sure they don't take it overboard. As the manager of the bar then came over, as he looked down towards the broken glass. A lot of it spread out on the ground. Sorry about that, said Jiraiya. As he went into his wallet and pulled out a few Ryu notes, he took a deep breath as he paid for the purse to clean up all the glasses all around. And also the cracked table, as the manager just noticed it. The brat should be paying for all of this. After all, he can literally make money. As they made their way outside, I'll give you one chance to go on your knees and beg for my forgiveness before I beat the crap out of you, said Tsunade. After all, you just destroyed all of my sake. Sake that I gave you, said Naruto. It doesn't matter, you owe me a lot. So you have one chance to beg for my forgiveness. And I don't exactly know if you're gonna get it. Well, I'm not doing crap, said Naruto. Snap the eyebrow and twitch at that. You're really asking for it, Brad, she said. And you're really running your mouth too much. Well, you asked for it, she said. She stomped her feet into the ground. The ground cracked and threw up shrapnel straight towards Naruto, who simply dodged out of the way. As Snady appeared in front of him, her finger flipped back as she knocked him right to the headband. But what she thought was going to happen did not, as Naruto had keeled back but his body did not move. His legs were firmly placed into the ground before he looked up at her with a smirk. I guess you're just not that strong, he said. She brought her fist down in a rage as she remembered that he spied on her. Time for a bit of payback. She dropped it right on his arm. She expected him to be on the ground in a whimpering mess. But to her surprise, he tanked it as he took the fist full on and blocked it with his forearm. She didn't put exactly enough strength to kill him, but he should be on the ground right now in pain. I guess joking around and not joking around are two different me, he said. Well, you have some skills, brat, but it doesn't matter. I'm a Sanin, and you're nothing but a little punk and a pervert. As she reared her fist back once again, only for Naruto to leap right over her, as he landed behind her. And you're old, and you're getting slow. Snapped the eyebrow and twitched as she lashed out. She punched the ground hard, creating a massive earthquake as the place shook violently. The earth split open as she picked up a large stone and threw it towards him. As Naruto jumped, as he focused the cosmic engine down towards his arm. The only way he was able to tank the punch like that was because of what he did to his arm. If he could turn different objects into different objects. As you remember what his counterpart did when he tried to fight him, when he turned his arm into an octopus tentacle. So why couldn't he turn his arm as strong as steel? Or stone? He wasn't so perfect with it yet, but he was able to turn his arm into literal stone. As stone made stone, boom, as it broke to pieces. Naruto flexed his finger as a feeling came back in his arm. Whenever he changed his arm like that, he couldn't feel it. Like it had no life force or anything running through it. But now it was back. Tsunade appeared in front of him as she slapped him away. He was too deep in his thoughts, he never noticed, as he crashed on the ground. He wiped his lip that was now bleeding. Maybe she did not lose any of her strength after all. She dropped from the sky with a heel. Naruto's eyes went wide. Boom! The ground shattered under the force. Tsunade leaped away from the destruction that she just caused, as Jiraiya and Shizune came out there as well. As Shizune looked around, worried for Naruto's safety. When Naruto burst out of the ground behind Tsunade as he grabbed her legs. Tsunade felt her legs wobbly, like they had literally been turned into water, as she collapsed down to her knees. She looked at her legs quickly, but they were fine, as Naruto had been in the process of changing them into something, but he stopped. Just with enough momentum to make her fall. That was all that he needed. Suddenly, she watched as the ground literally changed a purple glow, and chains wrapped around her two arms, holding her tight on the ground. Chains strapped around her back and legs as they yanked her down into the ground, forcing her face right down as her head was turned sideways. A chain even wrapped around the back of her neck, forcing her to the ground. She was literally tied up as she was unable to move. As Tsunade struggled, as her entire body started to glow with a golden view. She tried to break out of the hole. As Naruto had his hands on the ground, he was sweating as she pushed her strength. But more chains came out and wrapped around her. Let's see how you do without your super strength, he said. The chains then started to glow ominous purple before Tsunade felt her strength sapped away. Slowly but surely it was being sapped away, like her chakra had been completely shut off slowly. But it was. She screamed as she was unable to move. Let me go, you brat, she said. What the hell have you done to me? As Naruto walked in front of her, before sitting down. As he looked her directly in the eyes. Her eyes were literally murderous as she looked back at him. I know it's hard, he said. If I were to tell you that I know your pain, I would be a hypocrite because I actually don't. Unlike most Jinjulkis, I didn't went through a lot because of the perfect stage over there. Jerry and Shizune stay a distance away, but they heard everything. I know this guy. You can say that he's my friend. He's a bit rougher on the edges, but he's a good guy. His name is Gar from the Sun. I don't care, said Snaggy. Let me go! Can you just be quiet, said Naruto. No! Naruto sighed as he picked up a small piece of earth and turned his back. As his hand grew purple, he then turned back around. Snaggy glared at him as he pushed the ball gag in her mouth. As he strapped her on her head, Jiraiya held his head as Jiraiya wanted to cry. What was Naruto thinking? Does he have a death wish or something? Gagging Snaggy like that. Snaggy screamed, but the words are coming out muffled. No I can talk, said Naruto. And you're gonna listen. As he placed his hand on the ground, it shifted as a platform raised up, where Snaggy's chin was placed on so she could look right at him, as she was still strapped down to the ground. I'm gonna have to leave you there as we talk, because I know if you were out, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Look, as I was saying, Gar, while in his mind I was able to see some of his memories. He slaughtered a lot of people, and I mean a lot. His son moved in an instant to protect him, because many people want to kill him. And I couldn't really understand that pain because I've never had it myself. I know that you lost your brother and your boyfriend, and I know it must have been hard on you. After all, losing your loved ones are never really nice. I never really know my parents, so I don't know what having a mother or father feel like. But I have the perfect sage, who's like a dad to me, because I imagine that is what a father, how a father would act and react to their son whenever things happen. Although, a father wouldn't be that perverted, said Naruto. Especially my father, said Naruto. By this point, Snaggy's curses had started to lower a bit, as she was still squirming though, but she couldn't get out. She had to face the facts, as she still didn't know how this kid managed to subdue her like this. I never had, well, a mother, or even know what that feel like. So yeah, I guess I was lacking on that. But I have a little sister. Despite not being blood related, I see her as my sister. And as things are going on, I'm getting more addition to my family. More people to say that they are part of my family. So I can't tell you what's losing someone that has been there for you feel like. Well, I did lose someone once. But it's not like I knew her my entire life, but it was still hard. And that pain was just unbearable. Weeks, months. It dampened my spirit. I could barely think about anything but her. And knowing that I wasn't strong enough to do anything, that is what tore me up inside. So I guess that must be how you're feeling. And I'm sorry. But disrespecting the Hokage like that, it would change nothing. The man did everything that he could. He was the kindest person, always doing things to avoid and stop war from happening. Despite knowing that Orochimaru was a fiend, Snaggy eyebrow twitched at that. He didn't want to kill him because he loved him too much. He was like a son to him. And you were like his daughter, and Jiro was like his son as well. As he saw the three of you as his little family, despite already having his own now. And he hated the way things turned out, you leaving, and drinking yourself into an early grave. Jiraiya using porn to cope. But he started to change a bit when I came along. But Orochimaru, he couldn't change that. You know, I spoke to him a lot of time about you. He wished that he could have been strong enough to help you through your grief, to make you stay in the village, other than leaving and gallivanting around an elemental nation. And it really hurt him. It tore him up a lot. I know most of what I'm saying doesn't really relate to you. But what I'm saying is that Dan and Nawaki, if I'm correct, wouldn't want you to waste yourself away like this. After all, I heard that the both of them had the same dream of becoming Hokage. But now you are offered the position. Are you really gonna waste it, the dream that they fight for? The dream that they gave their life for, the village that they love? Despite them dying for it, they love the village. Hokages always have a reason to risk their life. And I'm sure that you're not a bad person despite the way you act. Because I know you're not, said Naruto. It's just hard. And I kind of understand that a bit. But you don't, say Naruto. Because you think that everyone doesn't have grief, but everyone does. But even though your pain is a lot, you can overcome it. And you can move forward by doing so. That is when you live up to your true potential after all. Dan and Owaki want to become Hokage. So you doing that for them instead. They will be smiling at you wherever they are. They'll be happy knowing that you did something they could not. Furthermore, you're protecting the village. After all, I'm sure they wouldn't want you to stay like this, drinking yourself into an early grave. Despite how bad it may sound, they don't want to see you for a long, long while because they want you to live your life. Have a good, happy life. And don't do anything stupid. Well, at least stop it right now. If you still want to punch me after all of this, if you still don't care about anything, me and Jiraiya will go, because I see no point of forcing you when you don't want to do it. Because you're just not going to become Hokage if you don't want. As Naruto touched her, a simple touch, the ball gag in her mouth vanished. She still had no idea how he was doing this. After all, they never told her what Naruto could do. The chains vanished. Tsunade jumped up instantly as Naruto stood there. His warm smile soon was replaced with a look of pain as her fist slammed right into his stomach. Naruto dropped face first into the ground. "That's for tying me up," she said. "Ow," said Naruto. Bam! She kicked him as he rolled on the ground. "And that's for peeping on me all those years ago." She then turned her back. "Hey, wait. I need time to think," she said. "What?" "I need time to think." "Are you deaf or something?" she said. "Come on, Shizune." As Jiraiya stepped away from her, he walked over. "You okay, kid?" "Oh, now you're here. You're on a roll. Do you really want me to intervene?" said Jiraiya. "I guess not." But she didn't say no. Look forward to that. She says she needs time to think. "That's a good picture in my book." "How much time?" said Naruto. "Well, we're a bit short on time," said Jiraiya. "So I'll try to push it along where I can." As Naruto struggled and get back on his feet, "She really hits hard." "Yeah, and she was holding back," said Jiraiya. "If she had hit you on full strength, you wouldn't be awake right now." "Yeah. I guess she's still as strong as ever. Once a Sanin, always a Sanin, huh?" "Damn right, kid," Jiraiya said. Time skip. In a dark cave, unknown area. And what happened? Well, it seems like it wasn't a joke about the kid's skills. "Despite of our reputation, which is quite fearsome," said Kisame. "Especially Itachi's right here, seeing that he's from the same village." The kid did not look fazed at all. In fact, he looked like he was ready to fight us. "And there's something about him," Itachi said. Kisame was surprised that Itachi spoke up like that. "My Sharingan, it didn't really affect him." "What?" the leader of the Akatsuki said. "I don't know what it is, but it's quite concerning, and he's strong. Different from a kid level strong." "Yeah, he was," Kisame said. "And he hurt Samihata with that blade of his. That blade that seemed to be able to cut through anything. Seems he's quite special after all. But he's still just a kid. Imagine in a couple of years when he learned to hone that strength of his, he'll be a monster." "It doesn't matter. He's under the protection of the Sanin right now. And if we're right about his skills, it will be a waste to go after him now. The Sanin will surely interfere. Losing members is not what we want." As a leader went silent for a few seconds. "We will leave him be for now, until we're ready." "So we're just gonna leave him to get stronger," Kisame said. "I will have Zetsu keep a close eye on him, to watch what he's doing, to find out his strength level. And if you're unable to take the job yourself, I will go after him myself. It doesn't matter who he is. He will fall." "Well, if you say so," Leader Sama said Kisame. "So what now?" Meanwhile, Sasuke was furious. He was angry, as he couldn't believe it. It has been 4 days and he had no idea. But Genma accidentally told him it was an accident. Kakashi was at the hospital. For a second, Genma kind of forgot that Sasuke was a Uchiha as well, telling him that Itachi Uchiha was the one that did Kakashi that way. As Sasuke was angry, he came to a conclusion though. She knew. Sasuke, you knew. Hinata paused as she lowered her head. Yes, she knew. She had went by to find Kakashi, but she heard that he was at the hospital. My guy, Kurenai. They told her to keep that secret from Sasuke, as they didn't want him to go AWOL searching for Itachi. So that is why you kept on asking me to train, to spar with you, because you knew. And you left me in the dark. You lied to me. Technically she did not lie, but she felt bad. I'm sorry, she said. Don't give me that. That won't change anything. She stepped forward. Leave me alone, he said to her. I'm done training with you. I know I didn't tell you, but it was for your own good. My own good? What would you know, he said. Not much about your situation, but still. I know that your brother is strong, from what I heard. After all, look what he did to Kakashi-sensei. It doesn't matter. I was supposed to be the one to end him. Are you certain at the level that you're at right now you can beat Kakashi-sensei? Sasuke paused. Of course he knew that he could not. Then how do you think you could beat your brother? It doesn't matter. You knew and you didn't tell me. And I'm sorry, she said. I didn't want you to get hurt. What? I know that you'll be going after him. They told me the same thing. And I just didn't want you to get hurt. I care for you. Like I care for Naruto-kun. You're my teammate after all. And I knew that you were going to do something stupid like going after him. But by now he's long gone. So I know I don't get my revenge, said Sasuke. She sighed. But could you really defeat him? She asked. I don't know, because you didn't tell me, Sasuke said. And I wouldn't. And I would do it again, she said, her voice taking on a steel edge. To protect you from doing something stupid. I know it must be hard, but still. You're my friend, Sasuke. And I don't want you to get hurt, she said. I know it will take a while for you to understand that, but still. I did it for your own good. Forgive me or not, but still. You're my friend. And I just don't want you to get hurt. If you want to continue your training, I'll be home, she said. And you can come by to call me. With that, she made her way off. As Sasuke stood there, not even looking at her. She really meant good. She just didn't want to see him get hurt. That is why she never told him. But he seemed to hate her now. And she thought that their relationship was improving. They were becoming better friends. But it seems like that was for naught. As she sighed, she made her way home. Sasuke stood there. 10 minutes of banging his hand repeatedly on the wooden post until his knuckles started to bleed heavily. He finally calmed down as he took several long, harsh, deep breaths. Who was he kidding? Itachi was the elite of the elites. He was nowhere near Kakashi's level. What would he have done? He wouldn't have won. So why was he acting this way? Why was he so pissed? Was it just because she didn't tell him? He sighed and took several more deep breaths. He needed to get stronger. He needed for Kakashi to train into his limits when he woke up. Being at this level wasn't so good anymore. Knowing that Itachi was coming around now, he needed to get stronger, as strong as possible. And he couldn't afford to waste any more time. Well, Kakashi was out of commission right now. And he had to say, training with Hinata, it has been helping. Her Byakugan can point out the flaws in his steps and his movements. But he had to go and blow her off like that because he was angry. But she was kind. Yes, she was. She wouldn't hold a grudge against anyone. So perhaps he could get her to train with him again. He calmed himself and made sure he was calm so he wouldn't do anything stupid. He had to take a walk. And that he did. Hours later, Hinata was surprised. She thought it would take a long while or Naruto, convincing him to forgive her. She never expected it so soon. As she was at the gate of the Hyuga compound, Sasuke was also standing there. As usually, there was a small smile on her face. He was refraining from looking at her that much. Can we continue our sparring? He said. Sure thing, she said. Without much effort or anything in it. She didn't even want to know the reason why he came back. She was just glad that he did. And with that, they continued to train. Meanwhile, a week. It has been a week. And nothing. Tsunade had threatened to murder Naruto if he came near her because he did. He had offered her the 6. She still had no idea where he got so much, but he just somehow got them. And then he came back to her. And then again, and then again, and then again. So she told him that she will murder him if he came back another time. So he decided to stay a long distance away until she was ready. But Jiraiya had said that he was going to talk to her last night. He hadn't come back. As Naruto got up and yawned, he did the usual morning routine as he got himself ready. As he stepped out of the bathroom and got clothed, someone burst through his door. As he saw Shizune looking frantic. Shizune, what's wrong? Naruto-kun, it's Lady Tsunade. Suddenly, they heard a groan. As Naruto moved towards the window and looked outside, under the windowsill was Jiraiya. As the man seemed to be just getting up, as he was in a lot of pain it seems. The drug had really done a number on his body, knocking him in and out of consciousness. What's going on, Perfect Sage? It's Tsunade. She drugged me. They quickly helped him inside. What is she doing, Shizune? She told me not to tell you, but she met up with Orochimaru. He offered her a deal to bring back her loved ones for healing his hand. Healing his hand? You remember what I told you, kid? Sir Toby had taken away his ability to use his hands. Yeah, said Naruto. So he wants her to heal them. She's meeting with him right now. She has been debating for the whole week over what to do. Your talking had really changed her mind because she wanted to do it at first. But now she's not so sure. She knocked me out because I wanted to tell you guys, so that she wouldn't go, but she said that she had to do this on her own. Damn it, said Jiraiya. You don't think that she's gonna... She wouldn't, said Naruto. Let's go to make sure not. Meanwhile, said Orochimaru, a sick, sweet smile on his face. I see that you came around. So, how about it, Hein? You're ready to meet your loved ones once again? Tsunade narrowed her eyes. As long as you don't go back on your deal, once I heal your arms, you bring them back immediately. Of course. After all, I know lying to you would be really bad, Hein. Have you forgotten? We've been on a team before. Tsunade stepped forward as her hands started to glow green. When suddenly, Kabuto narrowed his eyes as he threw kunais and shurikens, stopping her in her path. Lord Orochimaru, that would have done more harm than good to you. Orochimaru turned his eyes towards Tsunade. What is this, Tsunade? Tsunade slammed her face into the wall behind her. I have made up my mind. You're not leaving here alive, she said. Time skip. The group quickly made their way as Shizune had gave Jiraiya something to drink to get his chakra flowing, but it would take a while for it to kick in, as he was still in extreme amount of pain. His chakra fluctuating badly. As they quickly made their way, they arrived towards a broken down wall, where they saw Tsunade was on the ground, shaking in fear, as Kabuto stomped on her. Over to the side that gleeful Orochimaru was, as Naruto's eyes became downright murderous. Orochimaru's head snapped to the side as he saw it. As Naruto unsheathed his blade, Kabuto turned, but it was too late. Well, for his arm, slice! As Naruto took his arm clean off, Kabuto jumped back in pain, grabbing the stump. As Naruto kicked away the severed limb, before launching forward, Orochimaru jumped in front of Kabuto as he opened his mouth. An army of snakes came out of it. As they came piling down on Naruto, they swallowed him whole. As the sound of snakes being torn apart could be heard, a purple light could be seen as a slash came out. The snakes were severed as Naruto exploded out of the heap, his eyes murderous. Ah, Naruto-kun, I expect to see you sooner or later. But not this sooner, Orochimaru said. Naruto said nothing as he stabbed his hands into the ground. Literally stabbed his hand into the earth as he felt the nature. As he moved and glided the earth, Orochimaru felt the earth shaking. As they all looked around, Tsunade was still petrified as blood was splashed all over her as her hemophobia was acting up. Jiraiya felt the ground rumbling as he watched. Off to the distance, a wall sprung up, trapping all of them in a box. And this was no ordinary wall. Even Orochimaru was shocked. The thing was large. Immensely large. It seemed to go on straight up to the clouds. When Naruto was finished, he was panting a bit, as his eyes flicker purple and then flicker back normal. He then got to his feet. No escaping for you. Orochimaru looked around, as he could feel whatever Naruto did, it went straight down to the earth as well. This time, you won't escape, he said. As Kabuto looked around, realizing that they were trapped, as Naruto's eyes turned towards him. I knew there was something off as Jiraiya came over. Shizune rushed towards Tsunade. If you were in the city of Tanzakagai, you could see that the wall had been sprung up outside. As the people were shocked when they saw it. It was like a castle was made within seconds. It seems you have outdone yourself, Naruto-kun, Orochimaru said. This is truly impressive. I've heard the reports on what you did. Although I didn't see it for myself, I heard that you single-handedly take on both tail beasts. Do you know that your name is spreading far and wide? Naruto Uzumaki from Konoha, the boy that was able to single-handedly take on two tail beasts on his own. Do you know that? The stone, the minor villages, Kiri, the rain, everyone is talking about you. After all, the power balance is shifting. For Konoha to have a shinobi that was able to take on two tail beasts, not much less a kid. There are many people that want your head, Naruto-kun, or wants you to join their side. Everyone already knew that Konoha has the strongest ninjas around, but to have a kid that can do this, not to mention the rumors going around that you possess the Mokiton. People are calling you the next Hoshirama. Have you heard about that? Well, I guess not. You've been stuck in the village. Well, I guess you've been searching for her to become the next Hokage. Don't be shocked, I already know. After all, Jiraiya wouldn't take the position, right? Seems you're stalling, Jiraiya said. What, hoping for a way to escape? Oh, I could simply kill you all, Jiraiya said. What, with that half-beat assistant over there, with his one arm? And your arms are totally useless. And how exactly would you do that, Orochimaru, Jiraiya said. Well, you don't look so good, Jiraiya. Hey, Naruto-kun, why aren't you talking? Why have you gone silent? As Naruto's eyes closed, Orochimaru was a bit confused by that, as he was digging deep, pulling out that power that he used when he faced off against the tail beasts. His body started to flicker. You screwed up, Orochimaru, the moment you attacked Konoha. It seems that this is the perfect time for him to get his revenge. No one around. He can go ballistic. Show him hell, kid, said Jiraiya. Usually, to send a kid to fight a legendary Sannin was, well, suicidal. But Jiraiya witnessed the power himself that Naruto used. And with no one around, the level of destruction will be massive, but it will be contained to this area. Smart thinking on Naruto's part, and Jiraiya was too weak to do anything. So when Naruto's body started to bubble, Jiraiya felt it. All of them did. The ground started to tremble. As Naruto's eyes snapped open, they started to change. Its orbs. They started to completely vanish, showing nothing but a purple glow. Its pupils dilated as they became white, then purple. His hands clenched up into fists. The ground cracked underneath him. Steam came from his body as Naruto started to forcefully bring out his cosmic mode. He then roared, a roar that shook the very walls that he created. Meanwhile, at Konoha, Rimuru snapped open his eyes as he was just asleep. Master. Wings came from his back as he took off, tremendously fast. As back to the scene, Naruto's entire body was glowing. Orochimaru stepped back as Naruto stepped forward, the ground cracked under the weight of his boot. Kabuto felt open, seeing that there was nowhere to run, no bushes to hide behind, no trees. The place was just wide open. He looked towards the walls. It will take a while to go over them or break through them or go even underneath them. They will have to kill him first. And this power that he was feeling from the boy, it was something he never felt before because it wasn't chakra, he could sense it. It was something different. It was not dark, and at the same time not light. Complete balance. Orochimaru, he was a man to know no fear, doing the most gruesomest things in the world. But at this very moment, he felt open as well, as he felt like a snake who had been cornered. As Jiraiya gave him a smirk. Tear him to pieces, kid, Jiraiya said. As Naruto moved, Orochimaru quickly extended Kusanagi from his mouth as he grabbed the blade. As Kabuto pulled a kunai, his other arm that was wrapped with bandage all around it, he had stopped the blood flow. As he looked over towards his detached arm, there was no time. As Naruto came directly towards Orochimaru and brought Viper around. As Orochimaru ready himself, the exploding purple energy just seemed to condense as it flowed into Naruto's blade as he was about to take a one swing. But guys, be in episode right here. If you want to see the next part of the do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn the bell notifications to stay posted. And also, if you're new, yes, I have 3 channels. Anime King, Anime King 2, and Anime King 3, which I post what if fun every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. But I'm all for now. See you guys soon. Peace.